Good morning, people. Good morning. How are you doing? This is Jermaine McCrimmon from Humanity Unplugged podcast. And we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in one more time and again. I don't know about you, but it feels good to be back in the office one more time and again. Health and strength and God ability to have the proper understanding, wisdom, and knowledge to be here. Today is Monday, June the 8th, 2026, and you guys are going to probably hear this today. And I'm going to give it to you early. I'm probably give you two more. But I just want to tell you guys that I miss you. And I really appreciate all the support all over the world. You guys are phenomenal. You are outstanding supporters. Question and comments, you guys don't stop, along with all the social media platforms. Sharing is caring, they say, right? So I ask only one thing from my listeners: share the content. Maybe we can help someone down the line. I'm going to be giving you guys some stuff hot off the press, some things that you need to know that took place. Now, all of us, first and foremost, it's been a long week. It's been a very, very long week where I couldn't get to the office. I couldn't get in here. I couldn't get it started the way I wanted to. I could not find the resources to get in here because I had to work. I had to get that money. My God, my grandson, that's my guy. So I had to get that money. The other thing I want you to know is sometimes a delay is not a denial. When God's is leading your steps and ordering your steps, you guys got to realize that certain time is for you to do certain things. And those steps are presented to you in that fashion. And you know when you're supposed to go do something. So me being in the studio right now, even though I may have wanted to be here earlier, God said, no, it's not time. I'll let you know. And he did. And now I'm here. So take off your shoes, relax your feet, put your feet up, get you something cold and refreshing. We're here for a little bit, and we got some things to talk about. I want you to know that some things took place 3 to 4 years ago that has just now hit the surface of the American people's eye. And it's because the hearing of this young African-American boy out of South Carolina, Cyrus Carmack, was shot in the back. Now, this is something that happens on the daily with American people, or if you want to say Black people of color or colored people or African-American people. We've been taking each other out, as well as other nationalities has been erasing us or eradicating us off the face of the earth. And yes, we need to understand that this is not the first time nor the last time one of our children has been removed from this earth too soon. My condolences and my heart goes out to his mother and father and family, because I can only imagine what it is to lose a loved one, especially a child that has not lived their life yet. Could he have been doing other things? Perhaps. Could his parents could have been tighter leashed on him? Perhaps. Could that child been in a whole nother place at another time? For sure. But this happened for a reason. And it might not be clear to us, other than it's an example to show our children what not to do. I'm going to focus on some points that I witnessed and seen in the video. Also, I'm going to play some video footage of the situation. As my guy Willie Rebuild on YouTube would say, it's not a pretty situation. But if we can relive this moment for a short bit, there's some errors that that child didn't take heed to because he wasn't aware. He wasn't locked in. And maybe he didn't understand. And he's not to blame. He's a child. But we have to realize as parents where we at in 2026. You can no longer send your child to the store in 2026 by himself without him being properly structured prior. And we're going to get into this, and I'm going to go over some things that I saw I didn't like that took place. It was racial profiling, clean and clear. It was racism, clean and clear. It was a lot of different things that took place that was ignored by the young boy because he didn't know no better. But anybody of age would have walked right back out that store because this is not right. Even though it might have been the guidelines to getting in the store or perhaps buying and purchasing at the store, he was already marked before he even started. So this happened back in 2022. And I'm going to give you guys a little filler. This is a young, light-skinned African-American boy, had on a red hoodie at the time with a book bag, and he walked into the Shell station in South Carolina, and Mr. Chow, Korean, Philippine, whatever you want to call him, I can care less. They all judge us the same way, whether they want to admit it or not. They look at us only as a dollar, and that's it, because we are the ones that support them more than any other nationality. This is not my illusion. This is not my assumption. This is not something I'm guessing. This is a fact. We support them more than any other nationality. The kid went inside of the store, and immediately the mother of the store, Mr. Child's wife, told him to take off his book bag and place it in the designated area. The way she did it and how she homed in on him, if I was with my child, I would have left. I'd have told my son, don't you ever spend money in a store that jumps on you like that. That means they already thought he was a thief before he even came in the room. And it's not because of what she said, it's how she said it. It's how her eyes glued in on him that you got to see the video to see this. The body language displayed by the mother allowed me to understand that he was marked for death before he took a step inside of that store. And this is something that they don't teach you in school. This is something you learn being on the outskirts of life and everyday trials and tribulations, or everyday experience in racial profiling and racism, period. A father and a mother got to show him that. A brother, or uncle, or aunt got to show him that. He has to look at movies that demonstrate this so he can be aware of it, or read and get himself aware of what's going on in his everyday life that he missed. But if you're around this culture so long and some type of normalcy of people doing that. After that, he went to the refrigerator area to get his water. And not for long, the mother walked over there to him. Step number 2. That's foul. If I need help, I'll ask for help. I don't need you to come by me. Those of us know what she's doing. But if you never experienced this, this is new to you. But surprisingly, some of the other critiques and issues were missed and it was missed based upon the prosecution and some other key pointers I'm going to demonstrate by just talking to you guys and understanding why I said no justice, no peace. He was approached by the mother before leaving the store, and he says, I have no water on me, but he didn't take his hands out of his pocket. Surprisingly, he didn't do that because he could have killed some of that anger or momentum by just rubbing his hand against the hoodie in the front pockets, letting them know that there's no water there. But he said it clearly, and perhaps they should have took his word for it because his book bag was still at the door at the designated area. As the mother kept talking to him, Mr. Chow's wife, he walked out calmly, but Mr. Chow and his son ran after him aggressively. Now, I want to say to you guys, I want y'all to understand something. What I got out of all that was ego and pride was hurt. And I know some of you are listening to me right now and you're saying, how did you get ego and pride was hurt? Because the ego and pride was hurt because the kid did everything you asked him to do. He didn't run out the store, didn't curse at you, didn't disrespect you whatsoever, calmly picked up his bag and walked out the store. Now, as he walked around the corner of the store, he started running. Now, if we stop the cameras, the tape, everything, if you know you ain't steal nothing and you ain't do nothing wrong, why are we running? It starts right there. You could have told them, you can search me again if you want to, but I ain't did nothing wrong. But when you run for no reason, you presume or present yourself of being guilty. Because if you ain't do nothing wrong and you don't have nothing on you, you could stand there all day and say, look, you can search me. I ain't got nothing. I didn't get nothing. Now, what I didn't see after the man started running is they said he was 130 yards away from the football, away from the Shell station, which is damn near a football field away. And the man shot him in the back. Mr. Chow shot him in the back. Now, if you look at that, that's not murder. You can't get him on murder because that's not murder. And I know the family could have been devastated for losing a child, and they wanted him to punish with the highest prosecution charge available, which is murder. But murder is what you can prove, right? You gotta prove it. And they did not and wasn't successful proving it was murder. Now, they had a bigger thing they might have could have proved was manslaughter. There was no reason for you to shoot that kid in the back when he is 100 yards away from you, running from you over $1 water. Manslaughter was the proper charge. And they probably could have got a great conviction if they would have used manslaughter. But they could not prove murder whatsoever. But what happens is, and before it went to trial, I know this happened, and they're not going to tell people this, is the defense attorney and the accused sat down and they offered Mr. Chow a deal. And the only deal they offered Chow was manslaughter. I mean, not manslaughter, murder. And Chow said, I'll go to court. I'll go to trial. I'm not doing no murder. But if they would have offered Chow manslaughter, he might would have thought real long before he went to trial on that. Because they could have got him on manslaughter. Absolutely. The videos is clear. Great prosecution. Everything was where it needed to be. Defense attorney, they tried and they did an excellent job. But manslaughter, they would have got him. It's not what happened, it's what you can prove. And that's what we seem to fail to realize. In our hearts, we believe it's what it is, but it's what you can prove when you go in the court of law. And it wasn't murder. Now, they said this kid had a gun. They had a gun in court. So I guess he did have a gun. But the gun wasn't presented in the Shell store. He didn't take the gun out to force any water. He ran away, and they said he pointed a gun at the father from 100 feet away. It's all questionable. Like I said, it's what you can prove. This is a sad occurrence coming from a father that came from a situation where my child was hit. He lived and he's okay. My son is doing great. But it took effect mentally on him, physically on him. This is nothing easy. So I want you to understand that my condolences again go out to the family, because this is not cool, man. Now, civil lawsuits are still pending, and they can take this man, Mr. Chow, you know what I'm saying, for civil lawsuits. But I hear a lot of feedback from that nationality, the Koreans or Philippines, whatever, and they talking reckless out their mouth. But I think it's time, you know, it's so sad what happens, and I don't think y'all understand how deep this is. We support them. We support them. We support the Philippines, the Koreans, the Orient. We do it. Beauticians, all the hair, nails, the weave, cleaning products, y'all buy it from them. They double price African American people on it, so we can't have our own store with it. They make it cheaper for them so they could be our middleman, and they treat us like crap, and we keep going right back there. Our people will be right back in there tomorrow to buy nails, weave, hair, nail polish, whatever it is, supply store, beauty supply store, to give that man money again. Even though he didn't have that type of store, but you get what I'm saying. We got to stop supporting people that don't support us. When the last time you went to a Chinese restaurant and seen a black man working there? I'll wait. How about in the DMV? You know, Mr. Chow Wings and all that, the mumbo sauce, all that fly shit. That's cool. When the last time you seen a black man working inside of their establishment? I'll wait. When the last time a beauty supply had a black man working inside their establishment, a black woman? They don't support us. Or when the last time you seen them go into a black establishment and purchase something? I'll wait. It hasn't happened. It's not going to happen. But we continue to go and support nationalities who don't support us at all, but they're in our communities, and we always are putting food on their table while they take our kids' lives. All this is over a bottle of water that cost Mr. Chow, probably 35 cents for the bottle, because he bought a case. So this kid life was lost. They said for $1, but I got you beat. Probably 35 cents that water cost him. Mind you, he's 100 and some odd feet away, yards away. Why are we even chasing him for a 35-cent water? Because it was the pride and ego that this kid actually got away from Mr. Chow, his wife, and his son. And they believe he took a water. After they did all the precautions to stop it from happening, they believe they were played. The ego and their pride was hurt, was shook. So they said they're going to make an example with this kid. And that's what they did. It's a sad thing. I wanted you guys to hear it from me. I didn't do it in a while. I didn't talk about it because, you know, I be trying to just let y'all breathe on it a little bit, but it's real. You know, it's real. They don't care. Let's listen up. I got something for you to listen to.
And good evening now. We begin tonight with the latest in the Rick Chow murder trial, as today marks 3 years since 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack-Belton was shot and killed outside a Columbia gas station.
And today, jurors heard hours of emotional testimony from witnesses while also seeing newly released body camera and store surveillance video from the day of that shooting. We want to show you one of those moments right now.
Now, in this clip, guys, I want you to know that this happened on 5/28/23. I said it happened in 22. The video is 5/28/23. And I paused it and stopped it because I want you to understand that the mother, Mr. Chow's wife, is looking at the kid Cyrus up and down, trying to figure out where did he put this bottle of water. But as you could see in this video, his hands are in his pocket because his hoodie got front pockets. He's wearing Chucky jersey on, you know, and Chucky hoodie, and his hands are in both his pockets in his hoodie. But if the water is there, if he has no water, he could easily take his hands out of his pocket and just simply pat himself down and tell her, look, it's nothing here. Can I go? Is it all right? I don't want no issues, especially over no damn water. That didn't happen, obviously, guys.
I don't got no water in my pocket, bro. I'm so
So I'm going to pause it again because at this time, the kid is outside. He's running. He did go inside his bag, though. It looked like he went inside his bag, because I want to tell y'all something that's real key to understand. Footage is clean. He could have just put his book bag on his back and started hauling ass. He didn't do that. He went inside his bag first. So I believe he pulled out something. I could be wrong, allegedly. No matter what, he's running. His back is to them. He's not running toward them. He's running away from them. Over $1 water. And they're hauling ass. They grab their hat.
In this video, you see Cyrus wearing a red jacket, telling Rick Chow's wife he does not have any water in his pockets, before picking up his backpack and walking out of the store.
And shortly after, Cyrus was...
And let me say this. If it was a water that he was holding in his hoodie, he could have went in his backpack to put the water in the backpack. Could have did that. Don't know.
Was chased by Rick Chow and his son, Andy, before the teenager was shot.
News 19's Kiki Gushu was in the courtroom for all of today's testimony and the moment these videos were shown to jurors.
She is joining us right now from outside the Richland County Courthouse with the latest update. Hi there, Kiki.
Erica, JR, today's testimony moved away from what happened in the street that night Cyrus Carmack-Belton was shot and moved back into the Shell gas station that Rick Chow owned. Now today, most of the afternoon was spent showing the jurors, the prosecution showing the jurors, surveillance video from that Shell gas station. They also brought to the stand a new witness, investigator Tama Jordan. Now, the state played surveillance footage showing Cyrus inside the store and questioned former investigator Tama Jordan about the gas station's camera system. Jordan testified Rick Chow's familiar with the surveillance equipment, and prosecutors repeatedly asked whether those cameras could have been used to help identify Cyrus later rather than chasing him.
Do you think you would have some tools to help identify him?
Yes.
And investigate whether or not he had stolen water?
Yes.
Do you feel confident law enforcement could have handled this?
Absolutely.
Also presented testimony from a firearms expert who said the bullet recovered in the case matched a Glock 45. Late in the day, the defense shifted its focus to Cyrus's possession of a firearm, showing jurors a social media photo taken the night before the shooting that showed him holding the same gun found at the scene. The final witness of the day was a forensic pathologist who testified about the path of the bullet through Cyrus's body, as attorneys continue to debate what his position was the moment he was shot.
See, they're focusing on, positioning. The gun was the same gun he had at home, and all that's fine and dandy. But they're not focusing on the manslaughter because they're trying to go for murder. The manslaughter comes in recklessness by Mr. Chow running after him for $1 water. He didn't take your register. He took a 35-cent water.
And court has now wrapped for the day. The state is expected to rest tomorrow, and then it will be the defense's turn to bring witnesses to the stand. At 11, I'll be bringing you a recap of all of today's testimony. Stay tuned for that. And I'll be in the courtroom for the rest of this trial, bringing you the latest. Live in Richland County, Kiki Gushu, News 19, WLTX.
All right, Kiki, thank you so much.
News 19's Christy Calcagno sat down with an attorney today to get a better understanding of what happened today. Take a listen.
We're talking about with this video in the convenience store. There were parts that we were able to hear everything, which was also really interesting. And then also kind of those close-up shots, also specifically showing the water bottles.
Yes.
The moment on that. Kind of break that down for me. I mean, we were able to see some close-up shots. And like we said, all of this happening in the span of 2 minutes.
Right. I think the video clearly shows he didn't steal anything. You see him go to the cooler and, I counted, he took 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he kind of pauses and puts 1, 2, 3, 4 back. So then when he leaves, it kind of left me wondering, well, what was his purpose for going there to begin with? Because he gets the water bottles. He knows he's being watched, right? Because they tell him to put his backpack up. And he complies with that. He follows that rule. Okay, fine. So he puts the backpack where he's told to put his backpack. But then he takes the 4 water bottles and puts them back and then leaves the store without taking anything. I think if I were a juror here, I would know, well, he didn't shoplift anything. He didn't take anything. They're clearly from this video accusing him, and they think he did. They probably, in our mindset, we're looking very intently counting, those water bottles because we know this case and what the issues are. But, I would leave with several questions. One, like, clearly he didn't steal anything. He didn't take anything. They clearly thought he did. But 2, so what was his purpose for being there?
Well, that's the thing you don't get, is that he might have had all bad intentions going inside the store. He could have had all bad intentions going inside the store. However, the attention they gave them that wasn't good, he realized he couldn't get away with it. And he might have thought about it ain't worth his life to pull out a gun and try something too. So he decided to put it all back and walk away.
Why did he go there? But in social media, I've seen some of the comments talk about it, and people say, wasting time. I'll go into a store and just peruse around and window shop. And I've done that too. So maybe he was just walking around the neighborhood and I mean, it's May, it's hot. You know, he had a hoodie on, maybe just going in to get some air and wandering around. But it is very odd. It is odd that he took 4 water bottles out and then just put them right back.
Well, if you are interested in keeping up with this trial, we do have extensive coverage for you, including live streaming from inside the courtroom.
Well, I want you to know, guys, that the trial is already over. And Mr. Chow was cleared of murder. He was cleared by the juries, and 9 of the juries were black. So they went by the evidence. I told you what you can prove. You can feel the way you want to feel. They got him down as being innocent. And that's what happens. When you go by this, it's not what happens, it's what you can prove that happened. And he went in there with bad intentions because he brought a gun inside of a store for no reason. And it worked out for him because no one really was hurt after that, except the kid. And that's what's so sad. I want to move forward to what happened in Toledo, Ohio, this past weekend. In Toledo, Ohio, this past weekend, they had a community festival where 12 people were shot, 2 in critical condition. And it's sad that, again, you can't go nowhere without things happening to you. It's almost you got to bring your gun everywhere in case things jump off and they try to get you for no reason. A nice community affair, and 12 people are shot, 2 critical. No one dead as of yet, but that was probably Saturday, so who knows what have happened since then. And between the ages of 14 and 61, what can you do, man? You can't even go to a little outside function. It's not even July or August, and they just shoot them up, bang, bang, every chance they get. We have to do better. We have to do better. I don't know if you know, but Ukraine launched some drones. We're going to talk about that now. We're going to check in on that and let you see what took place and out in Petersburg. And this is the thing that happens when you don't sit down and talk. People get into these type of situations where this is continued a war for no reason, hatred for no reason. I don't understand. Like, y'all can't get it together. Everybody's suffering from this.
Russia-Ukraine war. Russian officials confirmed that Ukraine has launched a large-scale attack on St. Petersburg, which is Russia's second largest city. The AP says residents of St. Petersburg were told not to leave their homes because of the attack. Russia's defense ministry said its air defenses shot down 376 Ukrainian drones. They reported 3 minor injuries. This attack comes a day after Vladimir Putin refused an offer to meet with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. The New York Post with this, saying that drone attack targeted St. Petersburg again after Putin rejected the offer for the direct talks. All right, let's bring in Al Kempfer once again. Thanks for standing by, Hal. St. Petersburg, that's where that's where Putin is from. Why is Ukraine targeting the second largest city in Russia?
Well, first off, it's right because of what you said. This is where Putin comes from. You know, he was the mayor of St. Petersburg at one time. Obviously, it's crucial. It's tradition. I mean, if you go back historically, this is their big European city. This was the city that is on the coast, close to other European countries. You know, it's on the Baltic. So that is obviously a very important city, and it's considered more of a European type of city. So it's very high profile whenever it's targeted. So that's one of the reasons why they've been hitting Moscow as well. The other was that Russia was holding an economic summit there, which was billed as Russia's version of Davos. Major event, you know, people coming in from all over the world. The Ukrainians successfully hit it earlier in the week, hitting an oil facility at the port and also hitting a ship. causing huge plumes of smoke. And then, of course, this thing kind of punctuating the end of that event, which was this massive hit, which caused everybody to be ordered to stay inside. And this brings the war home to Russians. The two big cities in Russia, this is, the Russian elite, the two big cities where they live are Moscow and St. Petersburg. And Russia and Putin have been trying very hard to basically hide the war from everyday Russians, particularly in these two major metropolitan areas. And that has become impossible because Ukrainian drones and missiles, but particularly the drones, are getting through and they're causing significant damage in these cities. And they're bringing the war home to everyday Russians in ways they haven't before. And this falls on the heel of Putin's finance minister saying, look, we can no longer afford the war. We don't have the resources. We don't have the money to pay for the war. The Russian economy is shrinking.
So they're saying now that they cannot afford the war. Putin's people are saying, you better have your last hurrah because this is it.
It's they've got huge economic problems, and the Russian elites are reportedly kind of pulling back support from Putin. Nobody's predicting a coup anytime soon, but all the stages are set for Putin really losing his position, his legitimacy, if you will, as a leader of Russia. So this is very significant. The timing is very auspicious, and I am truly skeptical of any Russian claim on shooting down drones. In fact, based on that, I think they shot down more drones than Ukraine said they sent. So obviously those drones got through. They wouldn't have hit the things they hit if a lot of those drones weren't getting through. So makes a big statement and says a lot about that. And of course, on the heels of, and honestly, Zelensky kind of set that up. He put out that public letter saying, I want to meet with you, knowing full well that Putin would probably not meet. And then Putin said he would not meet. And frankly, Putin looks very weak on the world stage because of that.
So I wanted to give y'all that. I wanted to share that with you. I know it's not much, but I wanted y'all to understand that we might have some type of closure because they're saying financially Putin can't afford to have this war anymore. And everybody's going to back out and just shut it down. They're exhausting all resources out there in Russia for this war. In closure, in my conclusion, it's sad what happened to Cyrus. And, we can only teach our kids from these type of things and build up our kids to have awareness. And that's why I started this podcast, because it gives out awareness. Racial profiling, racism is all demonstrated inside this that happened with Cyrus. And we as people have to understand, we have to teach our kids. And yes, you can blame the parents. Yes, you can blame the store owners. But hopefully in time we can learn from this. With Russia, maybe this is what the world needs, some type of closure over there. And it could start some type of movement of power of motion to get things back to some type of normalcy. I'm your host, Jermaine McCrimmon. This is Humanity Unplugged. We thank you guys for focusing in on us. 38 minutes. This is a long one, but it's good. Love you guys. I'll see y'all in a few. Peace.